Good morning. In the Southwest region, what I was referring to is the city of Dallas. So, I had a truck, and my SUV was totaled when we received 17 twisters that touched down 2 years ago, and the hail storm was softball size. So that's when I said it's time to leave and come back to the Northeast. But what I want to talk to you about this morning is the group that I manage, which is the Business Services Group. And our mission is to work with employers in the district that are looking to hire residents. We, as you see out and about within the city, there's all sorts of cranes that are going up, and there's all sorts of businesses that are coming into the district. And one of the key linchpins to our service offering is to make sure that we establish partnerships with businesses, because we work with customers to get them job ready, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. But if there's not a true alignment with an employment opportunity, then it's really a void process. So we look to work with employers and work backwards to our customers. And what that really means is just sitting down with you and understanding what your needs are, what the hiring requirements are, what your culture is, and what are some of the soft skills that you're looking to promote within that culture. And then we kind of tie into some of the things that the previous presenter kind of touched on. We do competency-based pre-screenings. That's one of our best practices, and it's a tie-in into the recruitment process for an employer. So one of the things that we're very, very concerned about is understanding how to get people into your system, because at that point, you're going to take them through your process, and hopefully they will receive an onboarding offer letter from you. So that is the real mission of my group. We represent all the programs in the agency. So we're kind of that conduit bridge between the employer, which is our primary customer, and then our customer base, which is district residents looking for employment. Employer services involves a couple of different components. First Source ensures that district residents are given priority for jobs created by municipal financing and development programs. The law states that 51% of all new hires for employers that are receiving federal funding be district residents, okay, and that they use DOES as a first source to leveraging our customer base for these employment opportunities. Apprenticeship is a structured method for training of a skilled trade. We work with employers to set up apprenticeship or pre-apprenticeship programs depending on the length of the project. And in many instances, we find where we're in front of some construction opportunities, there may be, from the development side, a window that spans over a couple of years where we can put someone into an apprenticeship program, and at the end of that program would lead to an employment opportunity. So apprenticeship, again, we encourage employers that are interested in sponsoring an apprenticeship program, and I can share the information for who you should contact within the industry if you are interested in establishing an apprenticeship program. The American Job Center, this is our district's federally funded system, and it offers job seekers as well as employers the opportunity to look at all of our services and leverage them in one convenient location. We have 4 locations within the district, one in Southwest, Northeast, Northwest, and Southeast. I'm sorry. What we're going through right now, our American Job Centers are going through a certification process, which is mandated by Department of Labor. The first center that has been certified is our Southeast Center. We have, our hours have now been expanded as a result of this certification. So our hours are now from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. versus 8:30 to 4. And we've also, on Fridays, it's from 9:30 to 4:30. But again, the American Job Center is a location where you can come in as an employer, sit down with the business services rep, and really go through some of the intricate details of what you're looking to do when it comes to recruiting. And then we would use some of the team and staff members within that American Job Center to support the recruitment. So again, that's just our presence in the district when it comes to satellite offices for job seekers and employers. Special programs, they manage programs that are federally funded by Wagner Peisner. And if we have an employer that's looking to do massive layoffs, we would engage our rapid response division. And they would come in and speak to your workers and inform them of all the services that are available to them during their displacement. We also, in that group, represent CSEP, and that's our seniors program for residents that are 55 years and older. In working with them, we try to, again, align them with employment that's going to be suitable for where they are in this journey. Many seniors may try to step out to opportunities that are a little too aggressive. And so we want to make sure we align them and treat our seniors with respect and help them, again, receive gainful employment. Also within that program is our Work Opportunity Tax Credit program, and that's a program where you would get federal tax incentives for hiring individuals that are in specific target groups, such as TANF, it could be veterans, any groups that qualify, you would be in line to receive federal tax incentives. We'll talk a little more about that later. Now, the business services group, again, these are the advisors. These are the people that you would sit down with and really go through the entire process for your recruitment. It's very important for us to understand exactly, one, where the process starts for you, two, how you would like us to refer people into that process. And one of our best practices is doing pre-screens, face-to-face pre-screens. And I've worked with a few people in this room where we've sat down and we've done it's about 6 questions that we go through with an individual. They're scored. 5 points is the max for each question. And if they pass, we use kind of a 50% rule. If they achieve 15 points out of the 30 points that are available, we would forward them over to the employer to be interviewed. And if we don't, if an individual does not pass, then we provide some support services and refer them back to the American Job Center where they could get further support and assistance. There's some reason why they're not job ready, and that's what we look to do, make sure that everyone is job ready. The veterans, we have 2 groups for the veterans. We have the Disabled Veterans Outreach Program and the Local Veterans Employment Representative Program. Both programs provide employment, training, and placement for eligible veterans. So that's kind of self-explanatory. What we do within our system, and I'm going to show you it in a few minutes, when we post jobs in DC networks, the jobs are on veteran hold for 24 hours. So no one can see them but veterans. And then after that 24 hours, they are available to anyone that's registered in the system. I just wanted to give you guys a snapshot of my group. Within this group, I have three program analysts. Those would be your BSG or Business Services Group representatives. And I have 2 job bank group personnel. And what their job is to work with you to get your jobs posted in the system. So if you have a position description, we would love for you to just forward it over to us. We could already load it into the system. But if you don't have a PD, a position description available, one of our job bank group representatives will work with you hand in hand to get the position description established and posted in DC networks. But again, this is kind of our map for our business services group today. DC networks is the internet-based tool that we use for not only employers but also for job seekers. You can find this site at dcnetworks.org. We have a lot of services that are available for employers, but this is the system that you're going to use to post your jobs. You can also use this system to search for resumes. You can use this system to create alerts for when you find ideal resumes in the system to be referred. But this is also a system that we use for our job seekers to do their job search. So we encourage everyone at all of our recruitment events to be registered in our system, because when we are audited by the federal government, our activity to support employers needs to be reflected within the system. So we do some tagging of the job posting with the job seekers that we're referring to those employment opportunities. So again, we encourage all employers and also all customers to register in this internet-based system. Here's a little drill down of some of the features that are available for employers. When we're assisting an employer, there's a couple of things that the Job Bank Group identifies on the front end. When employers are going in independently and posting their jobs, sometimes you're not choosing the right occupation code. Okay, and so our Job Bank Group will work to make sure that that occupation code is correct so that the job order that's established in the system is accurate. They also detect any type of scamming that might take place in the system. We've experienced a few spikes in the last couple of weeks where folks are going in and they're reaching out to customers in this database, and they're not true employers. So we do some scam detection on the front end, and we also make sure that the job orders are accurate in the system. Another thing that we provide in assistance would be setting up for an employer like a virtual recruiter, and those are resume alerts in short, where again, if you have the qualifications for your opportunity, and if there are resumes already in the system, you can set up alerts so that you would receive those resumes. You would receive those resumes, and you can review those and hopefully consider those folks for a placement. Now here is just different ways that you can search for resumes. One would be more of, you can set the filters where you might look at the occupation, you might look at the background, you might just want to look at the resumes that are available. But here's a way that you can kind of drill down, and if you go across the tabs on the top, it just gives you a more robust way of searching for resumes in DC Networks. On the external resume search, we have links that go to some of the more popular job sites. So you could go out to those sites and actually broaden your search to look for ideal candidates. And I touched on this earlier where I was saying that business services group, they go out, they meet with you, and then they try to, host in partnership these pre-screening events. But again, one of the things that we look to do is to really introduce you to the programs and the services that are available to you from the district. Again, this is pretty much self-explanatory. One of the things that we also offer may be bond insurance. If there's, for some reason, a concern about hiring a certain individual, maybe they have a barrier to employment, and you would like to, put some insurance in place just in case, as a precaution to any mishaps. We do offer a bond insurance program, and I can talk about that a little bit more detail later. I wanted to give you a little snapshot of our American Job Center. We kind of restructured this program, and this is the new rollout, where we're trying to meet the customer where they are, and we have different tiers of service. So core service would be our universal services. Anybody that walks in, we do an initial assessment, and we try to understand, what the challenges may be. If an individual feels that, they really don't need a job coach, or they don't really need some of the workshops or different programs that we offer, then that's fine. They can just come in and just use our facility to use our computers or what have you. But when we look at folks that might need more hands-on support, Tier 2 services, that's when we're doing a little more drill down. There's a career development coach that's assigned to that individual. And we look at really, what are the true barriers to being job ready and hire ready. So it's a more hands-on approach for Tier 2 services. And then if the first two tiers don't seem to fit the customer, we look at our Tier 3, and that's where training is provided. And a person has to qualify for the training. So there will be more of an assessment to see if an individual qualifies for any of our training through the WIC. And on the back end of it, we have a team called the Employment Opportunity Team, and they kind of work hand in hand with our business services group. They're kind of the bench. I kind of call them the bench for my group because they're the inside support team that an individual, they deal with individuals that come into the American Job Center, but all the jobs we farm down to the American Job Centers, and they will go through the Employment Opportunity Team. So even as we do a specialized event for one employer, there's still some employment opportunity after that event. And we want to leverage those opportunities through our American Job Center Opportunity Team. And then at the end, hopefully, again, the customer enters and retains unsubsidized employment. Here is just a snapshot of some of the customers that we worked with in this past year. Again, one of the things, and I want to point out, is that probably about a year ago, you would have heard about One City, One Hire. And One City, One Hire was really targeting just district residents. It was a locally funded program managed on the local level. The Business Services Group is a federally funded program which has the bandwidth to the entire DMV. As long as an individual is receiving UI, unemployment insurance, from the district, they can live in Maryland or they can live in Virginia, and we could still engage them in employment opportunities. One City, One Hire now is the umbrella for the agency, instead of it being a program in a silo. It is the umbrella, and under that umbrella falls employer services. So again, One City, One Hire, again, is still the platform for jobs from the mayor's office. But we've just broadened it outside of the silo that it was positioned in a year ago. But again, we've done some great work getting some folks into these organizations, one of which I attended last night was the Marriott Marquis. They had their grand opening last night, and we were responsible for helping them employ over 600 folks that were district residents. So again, I hope to add some of you guys to this list as we can work together to get you some qualified candidates. And let's see. And here are just some of the community groups that we work with. Pretty much, we're in a unique position. We have a lot of employers lined up to work with us, and we have a lot of the nonprofit groups that are also looking to partner with us for some of their initiatives. But one of the things is we work hand in hand with a lot of our sister agencies to support their initiatives and make sure that we leverage district residents, because some of the concerns or barriers may involve wraparound services, and that's where we look to engage some of our sister agencies. So again, this is just a snapshot of who we work with in the community. And I know someone in this audience recognizes one of these pictures here. The very top picture is a DC streetcar, okay? And we were instrumental. We had about 800 folks show up the day we did a hiring event in sponsorship with Midtown Group and DDOT. As a result of that hiring event, we were able to employ close to 35, 40 folks at this point, and that number is going to scale as this project grows. But we were able to employ at least starting about 35 folks, and these folks right here were part of the Magnificent Seven, I think that's what they call them. It's the first 7 people that were hired. These are career jobs. So we had quite a few people that showed up. They were, former operators for WMATA or Metro, and were very interested in these career opportunities. So that's a special event for us, because in some of the other campaigns that we get involved with, it could be seasonal work, it could be shift work, it could be retail, and we always are looking for full-time employment, even though it may not be available, but we look for full-time employment, and especially if it's a career opportunity. That, really is kind of the marquee for us. So, again, my real message to you guys is that if you're looking to work with, to employ district residents or anyone, again, that's receiving unemployment insurance from the district that lives in the DMV, I encourage you to reach out to DOES. And again, one of the things I'd like to see a little bit more is having employers come down to our American Job Centers and conducting some of the interviews right there on site. It's kind of a message that I give to everyone when I sit down with them, because sometimes people believe that we're the Department of Unemployment. And we're not. We're the Department of Employment Services. So thank you for your time, and I'll answer any questions in the next segment.